Today, we are honored to interview a very inspiring author that I have been reading a lot for many, many years, Jennifer Goforth Gregory, who is a professional writer for over 20 years, and she is the best-selling author of the Freelance Content Marketing book. Welcome to our podcast, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time because, we all know that you have a very hectic life and you made some time to speak to us today. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, after reading your book, that it's completely blowing. I mean, it really applies to us translators and also, of course, copywriters
Yes.
and freelance writers. But I would like to know, it is written in your book, but for the people who are not very familiar, how in your daily life as a content writer, how did you find the time to write the book and put it into, publish it? Because it's a big leap.
Yes, and I mistakenly thought that turning a blog into a book was easy. So it's a lot harder to do well than I thought. So back in 2013, I had started writing a blog. And for the first 6 months, nobody but my mom and maybe my sister read it. And eventually I started to get some traction. Around 2016, 2017, I had a good blog, I had a following, and my accountability buddy, Stephanie, and my husband were both like, you need to write a book. And I didn't want to write a book. I didn't want to put myself out there because it's hard. It's hard to put yourself, you're being vulnerable, you're putting your advice out there. I didn't want to do it. And finally, Stephanie told me I was being selfish by not putting it into a book because it wasn't able to help as many people in blog format than it was. So I started working on the weekends. I worked a couple weekends to write the book over the winter. And then on the second pass, I realized that it needed I needed more. It was a good book. And then it ended up costing me $2,000 more in review cycles with my editor, but I stopped the process, I added the right content, and that's what made the difference, in my opinion, from a good book to a book that's really made a lot of difference in a lot of freelancers' lives. And when I was finally done writing it, I was sitting in a hotel room in Austin, and I just started crying and crying because it was done. It was done. And I had put my heart and soul into the book. I sent it to Stephanie to read before I published it. And she called me and she's like, "Oh, I'm so relieved." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Well, I didn't know what I was going to tell you if it wasn't good. And it's really good. It sounds like you." And I'm really proud of the book because it very much sounds like me. And it has been mind-blowing to me, the number of people that have told me in a number of industries, graphic designers, computer programmers, translators, copywriters. I didn't realize how broadly applicable the advice of how to build your own business was. And at some point, my plan is to turn it into more of a general book that applies to create a version of it that applies to a lot of different industries and types of business owners.
Yes, imagine I am in Argentina and it's like a Bible for most of us as translators. And I am member of an American Translators Association in the US and in different countries all over the world. And many, many linguists always recommend your book because it's like a guide, You are like the light that we have to follow.
That's wonderful. So that's great to hear. Thank you.
Yes. And Jennifer, do you keep on studying? I mean, after I know because you can subscribe to her blog because it's amazing. But do you, apart from all your work and all the things that you write, almost, well, not almost, on a daily basis, do you find time to keep on studying and learning?
Yes, absolutely. I'm always reading other content marketing writers' guides. I go to a number of conferences. I'm always staying up to date on the trends. The other thing, as far as studying and learning, that I think is really important and something I try to do is I'm constantly evaluating my own business and my decisions and my life needs and what I'm enjoying working on. So I study my business and my clients as well and try to get better at how I'm actually putting it into action.
Wow, great. And I love the human touch and the emotion that you always, that transcends, let's say, the text. And I love the idea that is written in your book that you say that clients, I mean, you have to choose your clients, and you have chosen to only work with clients who are very nice people. And you create that, and you, in a way, was able to work only with that client. So tell us more about it, because we all wish we could do
So
that.
I think if there's three stages of freelancing, and I have a post on this. One is when you start to get some success and you realize that you don't want people that are a-holes or jerks. And so you start getting rid of clients that are not that are jerks, and not hiring people that feels like they could be, letting people, not taking jobs with people that feel like they could be jerks. The second stage is when you only work with nice people. And there's a pretty big gap between not being an a-hole and being nice. And so at that point, you're able to be more selective. And then the final one is only very nice people. And I kind of define that as people that you would go, clients that you would go out to dinner with if they came into your area, that you want to have a personal, professional friendship with. And it's hard to do, to let go of clients and get in the mindset of being particular, because we often think that money is the biggest reason we should say yes or no, but it's actually should just be, and I hate the term, table stakes. Is it pays enough? Then you go to the next level and you decide if it's a fit. I think that freelancers need to get out of the mindset of, will they hire me? A client's interviewing me. I think we need to reframe it, and you're going into a business meeting between two business owners to decide if y'all are a fit to work together. And I often say at the beginning, I will say something like, I'm so glad we're getting a chance to talk, because I'm at the stage of my career where I actively pick the clients, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we're a good match to work together. And the funny thing is, it makes you much more desirable, because you're showing success in a subtle way, that you are making enough money and have enough work to be able to pick.
Exactly. Yes, I have tried to apply all your tips and different experiences that you share in your book. And it's amazing because, as you said, sometimes we don't realize that we can really choose our clients
Yes.
and move forward from then on. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can let go of a client. One of the things about freelancing is you have the freedom that, but you have to take it to pick your clients and pick your work. And I know that I am most successful and less stressed and do better work when I'm working for the clients that are the right fit for me. And that right fit is everything from personality to deadlines to communication style to the type of writing to even the tone of writing. I've learned recently that I really suck at writing content for financial executives. I've been kicked off 2 projects where the audience was financial executives because my writing wasn't sophisticated enough. And I had mistakenly assumed that since I can write for the C-suite in tech, I could write for the C-suite in finance because I know finance. But I can't, because even high-level leaders in tech want a more conversational tone than I am able to. They want a conversational tone, but financial people don't. So there's so many different factors that you really have to think about, and you have to be, most importantly, willing to let a client go simply because it's not working for you.
Yes, because one of your the benefits that you offer to your clients, as well, you are mostly a tech expert, no?
Yes, yes.
But you offer like making it simple what is more complex or more high level for the people, the population in general. But you don't know, as you said, sometimes some clients would like to continue into that complex language.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Yes. And the best way to figure out clients that you're going to be a good success for, they're a good fit, is by taking the wrong ones. That's where you really figure it out. And people think that getting kicked off a project or getting fired is bad, but it's not. That's how you learn. And any writer or freelance or translator or any business owner that tells you they haven't been kicked off a project either isn't putting themselves out there enough or they're lying.
Exactly. I love your sincerity and your telling everything, because it's life. I mean,
Yes.
it happens all
Yes,
the
absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, one of the other topics most that attracted my attention was, like, as translators, we always have the two ways, let's say, be a generalist and I'm a translator, like in general, or I am, as you said, no, a literary translator or a financial translator, and that's my niche. And I only work there because I'm specialized and all that. And there's a lot of fuss around this. But what if for you wrote a lot, and one of your latest posts in the blog, but what can you tell us about it?
So I think that you can be a generalist and be successful as long as you position yourself correctly for the person that you're talking to. So for example, most generalists have areas that they specialize in. They just have a bunch of them, and that's okay. So let's say, so you said that you write in literary and financial. Are you translate? Okay. So
no, for example, I'm a more marketing translator, okay. But I mean, like in general, but I work mostly with marketing, creative translations, but also legal, because I'm a certified translator. So
let's say that you're talking to someone in the legal industry, then the way you would present yourself, you wouldn't talk about your literary translations or your financial. You would say, I am a legal translator. Here are the clients I've worked with in this area. Here is my experience, and here's my certification. You wouldn't mention any of the others. And so when they look at it, and most generalists that I know have a lot of experience in these different areas that they specialize in. And they do it because they like the ability to have a wider pool and also to not get bored. And it's totally fine. You can be very, very successful. You just need to pitch yourself as what that client is looking for.
Yes, the pitch. That's
the pitch. Yes.
Another big topic when we are talking about what we do and how do the other or our clients see us. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
As translators, sometimes it's difficult, as we were talking previously, to be more visible, to, make ourselves seen.
Exactly.
And Jennifer, now in 2023, with all this chat GPT and all this new AI hype that it's all over the world in every single space, you already have a course on
Yes.
chat GPT tool. What's your recommendation, or what's your thoughts on this?
So, and I don't know enough about how it works and the uses in the for translators. So I'm going to talk just for copywriters at this point. The first thing is, as writers, we need to not be passing off AI written content as our own. If a client asks you to use it to write and that's the assignment, that's fine. But you don't want to be using a tool when they are paying for using a tool for writing when they are paying for original work. However, I think there are many uses for AI in writing to help with tasks. For example, headlines, coming up with ideas, hashtags, social media posts, giving us a place to start for outlines, helping us, and a lot of people have been using it for research. Chat GPT is not good for research. Bing Chat is much better. The big thing with Chat GPT and Bing Chat to some extent is that it puts factual inaccuracies. So when you're asking it for research or asking it to write something, so you have to double check everything that you put in there.
So perfect. So as a copywriter, for you is just another tool, let's say, for your business.
Just like Grammarly or Otter AI.
Perfect. And you let your clients, let's say, know, or in a way educate them, because sometimes, at least here in South America, they think that everything will be done by the computer, and we as humans will no longer be needed.
I just can't see that being true. I just can't, because how can a computer do a podcast like what we're doing? How can a computer write about a new scientific or health innovation that is just being created and hasn't ever been written about? How can it share my unique thoughts about what happened yesterday?
Yes.
I mean, if we get to the level it could read minds, then sure, but I think we're a long way from there. I do think it will take over some low level SEO type writing relatively quickly. So if that is the type of work you're doing, then you need to work on finding areas that require a higher level of expertise and ability.
To keep on learning, as always.
Keep on
studying.
learning. Exactly.
Great. Jennifer, and do you have like a routine or some special kind of organizing your day as a content copywriter?
I am not the person to be asking that question to.
I know that, but in general, because you're very successful, so something is working there.
So what I do is I don't listen to what other people tell me is the right way to structure my work-life balance. It's not, for me, work 8 to 5 with no interruptions. I like to hike. I like to kayak. I run a dachshund rescue. For example, I didn't start working today till 10:30 because I was out trying to trap a dog that got loose. So I do work-life integration where I move between both throughout the day. And there's days that I don't work much during the day, but I work on the night or the weekend, because that's the things I want to do are during the day on the weekdays. So I try to do what works for me and keep a balance that works for me. And I use my flexibility that freelancing gives me very well. Today's a great example. Tomorrow I'm going to the beach for the day. Every couple Fridays, I drive a couple hours to have lunch with my son at college. But I usually work Sundays, and I often work from 8 to 10 at night, which is fine. That's my husband's
Yes.
watching TV or going to sleep. Like, he's around
Mhm.
during the day, so I see him a lot during the day since we both work from home. So we eat lunch together. It doesn't always have to be dinner, you know.
Exactly. Ah, I love that. Like the idea of being you, like the way it works for you
Yes.
as the unique Jennifer
Yes, exactly.
existing in the world.
Exactly. We have to be willing to let go of what
Yes,
we think it should be.
exactly. And Jennifer, just to round up our interview today, do you have, it's very difficult for you as a word lover. Do you have one word or phrase that perhaps this time of your life is like more, it resonates more or like a kind of favorite?
You know, I've never been good at picking one word. I know we're supposed to do that every year, but I'm not good at that. I think I'll do a phrase. I think it's having the courage to let go of the way you think your business or your life should be, and instead embrace what's meaningful and works for you now, and then not being afraid to change it when it doesn't.
Wow, love it. You live by that.
Yes, I do. And some days that makes life pretty hard for me, but you know, it works. So I really appreciate
Yes.
it.
Thank you. You really
Thank
walk
you.
your talk, and it's been a
Yes.
pleasure having you today. I will recommend everyone to read your book if they haven't done it already. Follow you on your blog, your Facebook group as well, and well, all your social media. And well, we'll keep in touch always.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.